How to handle employees during the acquisition and after the acquisition of a new business. This is such a crucial topic. Stick around as we dive into that today.
Welcome to the Power of Biz YouTube channel. My name is Tim Delaney, and over the past 11 years, I've purchased businesses and real estate to build my financial independence. My journey began with buying my first business with just 10% down, and through hard work and strategic decisions, I've been able to create the life that I want. I started this channel to share my story and experiences with the hope that I can help you do the same. Whether you're looking to break free from the 9-to-5 grind, build long-term wealth, or take control of your financial future, you're in the right place. Join me as we explore the ins and outs of buying businesses, the challenges and rewards, and the practical steps you can take to create the life you desire. Together, we'll navigate this exciting journey to financial freedom.
Before I jump into today's topic, I really appreciate if you take 1 second and hit that like button down below. And if you have another second, hit that subscribe button. It really boosts this channel up so that others can find some very valuable content for their businesses. Today, we're going to dive into how to manage employees during and after the acquisition of a business. So what can you do to make sure that your team stays and is as productive as possible when you buy a business? Employees are the backbone of any small business. It's really important that you are handling them well during that transition phase and then afterwards. So one of the most important things that I have found is being open and transparent as possible with employees of the company. A lot of times during a sale of a business, the sellers try to keep things under wraps. They don't kind of necessarily always publicize that they're selling the business. They don't always necessarily let people know that the business has been sold, that it's under contract, or that somebody new will be showing up one day soon and to be the new boss, new owner. Even though sellers oftentimes try to do a great job of keeping it under wraps, employees are generally pretty smart and pick up on the vibe of the fact that something is going on, some change is coming. And humans inherently do not like change. None of us do. We're kind of programmed for not wanting too much change, especially when it comes to your livelihood. So the employees in a business are going to be on edge during the sale of a business, whether they know or whether they don't know. Even when they do know, sometimes sellers are open about it. Sometimes, like in my case, the sellers let me come into the business to start working on inventory, to start putting barcodes in our new point of sale system, and to meet the staff and the vendors. And that was great. Even with that transparency, the employees were still on edge. They were still a little bit nervous what was going to happen after the sale of the business. I inherited 2 employees. The sellers of the business had 3. One we knew was going to retire as soon as the sale went through, which was fine. But the other 2 I needed to move forward. We tried to be as open and transparent that I needed them, let them know I was excited to be working with them, that I wanted them to stay on, that things were going to be the same as they were, but there was still uneasiness in them. After some time after I took over, one of the employees that I got close to even admitted to me. She thought for sure that I was going to let everybody go and that I wouldn't need them, didn't want them. Ironically, as a buyer of a business, we're usually buying, one of the reasons that I like to buy a business is because you have those employees in place that know the business, that know the customers, that know the vendors, know the products, and can help you grow that business, or at least sustain it while you figure out how to grow it. So from a buyer's perspective, we want those employees. We want them to stay. We want them to be happy. And so it's just very important to be open and transparent with them to the extent that you can, at the point that you can in the process, to make sure that they know that they are wanted and needed, so that they will hopefully stick around for you. The second thing that I did and that I recommend people to do is to avoid any major changes right off the bat. Again, people in general are scared of change, a little apprehensive about change. You come in day one, they already know that there is a big change in the business. There's a new owner. They don't need their entire world rocked by other major changes right out of the gate. So take your time before making these big changes. For me, one of the things that I did was the previous owners paid their employees on a monthly paycheck. So employees got paid once a month, which was fine. I decided to keep it that way because that's what they were used to. They also made the schedule 1 month at a time. They sometimes wouldn't release that schedule until the last week of the month, but it was for the entire next month. I thought I was doing my employees a favor by releasing 2 weeks ahead of time, but only 1 week. So I was at least giving them 2 weeks, but I was releasing a schedule once for 1 week at a time, but a couple weeks ahead of time. Even that change from going from putting out the entire month in one go to giving what I thought was a little bit extra time sometimes and only doing 1 week at a time was pretty disruptive for them. Luckily, I had kept in good contact with the previous sellers, and they reached out to let me know that the employees were a little disgruntled and unhappy and uneasy with that, what I thought was a minor change to the way we were doing scheduling. So I reverted back, made sure I was putting out the whole month at a time to make sure that they were happy and at ease with me as a new owner. You rolling out big changes right out of the gate. So keeping everything consistent. Like I said, I kept the monthly paycheck going, even though it would have been easier for me to switch to a weekly. And they might have even liked it better right out of the gate. And I did eventually make that change, but I didn't want to bring about too many changes right away. Changes to the way employees punch in or punch out, or the way that they put in vacation requests or time off requests, the way that their paycheck is delivered. If they're getting direct deposit, make sure you get that system dialed in right from day one. Try to get their information ahead of time, so that, because you're probably going to have to change processors, bank systems. So making sure that you get that right away so that they can continue to get paid in the way that they're used to without any big change. And just in general, not even just dealing with the employees, but try to avoid any major changes right out of the gate that are going to make them more uneasy than they already are. If you've got enough going on as it is, you don't want to scare them completely. So once you've got that open, honest transparency as much as possible, don't make any big changes. It comes down to the idea of actually managing. But I don't really like the idea of managing employees. I like the idea of being a leader. Lead the employees. Don't try to manage everything they do. Let them show you what they know. Let them bring ideas and share information with you in the way that they want to do things. They might have had amazing ideas for a very long time that were suppressed by the old ownership. Be a leader. Let them kind of figure out what they need to do. They don't need to figure it out. They already know what they've been doing. But being a leader instead of a manager will allow them to flourish, will allow them to bring new ways of doing things, new ideas for the company to the forefront, so that you can grow and they can grow with you, and they can feel a sense of ownership in the company that they may not have felt previously. So lead, don't manage. Set clear expectations. So kind of in conjunction with being open and transparent on the sales side, this is who I am as a new owner, make sure that you're setting clear expectations right from the get-go. Let them know what you expect of them, let them know what they can expect of you, and ask them what they need of you, so that the expectations can be clear on both sides. Had I told my employees right out of the gate that what I was doing with the schedule was for their benefit, maybe they would have been a little bit more open to it. Maybe they would have understood it a little bit more, rather than me just making the change and not sharing the reason behind I took over, I wrote a long letter with some of the bullet points that were important things to me. Dress code, safety issues, requests, time off requests, all those types of things I laid out right away so that they knew what I was expecting, the way that I wanted customers to be greeted, that they were mostly doing anyway, but I just wanted it to be clear that those were my expectations, that customers were greeted as soon as they walked in the door, that you said thank you to the customers as they finished, that you went out to greet the customers on the floor if they needed help finding something, not just point and direct. So expectations, setting those expectations right from the start is a very important piece of the transition when you purchase a business. Celebrating wins. So find some of the things early on, as early as possible, that you can celebrate with your employees, and your employees can celebrate with you, to make them feel part of the new ownership, that they're part of the team. It's something that personally I've always struggled with. I don't celebrate my own wins often enough, so I definitely forget to do it with my staff from the beginning to now. It's something that I struggle with, but it's something that I know that I need to get better at. But if you're already good at it, just remember to do it as early on as possible with those new employees. Make sure that you are celebrating wins, you're bringing them in, getting them excited about the vision and the new things that are to come with the new ownership, so that they forget about being nervous and get excited about all of the new wins that are coming their way. And then staying accessible. So even if you're buying a business and you don't want to be the hands-on in the business 80 hours a week, every week, knee deep in whatever it is that you're doing, it's still important as a new ownership that you are somewhat accessible to your staff, that they can come and ask you questions, that they feel comfortable with you as the new owner. So that might mean committing a certain amount of time, especially when you first take over, to be there, have an open door policy, letting employees stop by, or you stopping by their offices or their stations or whatever it is, having lunch with them, having coffee with them, making sure that they can ask you questions, they see you as a person, they understand what your vision and what your goals are. It will also help you roll out those changes when you eventually start making them, if they've had that access to you to get their questions answered, to find out what you're all about, to see what kind of person and what kind of values that you're bringing to the company, so that they know whether or not they want to be involved with the business in the long term. So those are some of my kind of key things that I have done, not done, but would find highly valuable when you buy a new business, in dealing with the employees, helping manage those employees and lead those employees during the transition from the seller to you, and keeping everybody happy, and to hopefully leading to a long-lasting relationship with those best key employees. Again, really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you found this valuable, definitely hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment. Are there something I missed that you would recommend doing? Are there questions you have about anything I said? Love to hear about it in the comments. Really appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Cheers.